Sorry to keep you there. Evening all. How's everybody doing? Josh Shaves. How are you doing? Your comment on my Go video. Thank you very much. The Puffing Alien. Don't see you that often. Nice to see you on here. Piping Pirate. Happy Hanukkah indeed. We're a bit past that now, but thank you. Appreciate it nonetheless. Tim, good evening, good morning to you. How are you? I'm about to load up my Boswell bent apple with some nightcap. Really been enjoying the nightcap. Good evening, Ben. The Artful Codger is in the house. The king of live videos. One of the last people to jump on the bandwagon, and he's prolific already. Gets more views than John. Matches. That's testament to the quality of the channel there, Ben. Amazing, amazing giveaway. Beardless Gnome Joe is in the house. How are you doing, Joe? Long time no speak. Hope you're well. Haven't seen a video from you for a while. Prolific in terms of the success of each of them. So prolific, probably the wrong word. I'm sure you're right. Yeah, really amazing prizes you've got there. I hope to send you a picture in due course, but that will be one of those. I'll be one of those, as you might expect, who will ask you not to publish it. So how's everybody enjoyed their Christmas so far? You guys are probably in the throes of it, whereas we're done with here. We're on Boxing Day, 20 past 2 in the morning. Well, here in the UK, we have, it's a kind of a bank holiday. It's called Boxing Day. I'm not sure of the origins. Might have something to do with all the boxes that get chucked out the day after Christmas. First pipe and tobacco, Josh. What did you get? What pipe and which tobacco, Josh? You called the family, got the phone passed from person to person. I'm not sure what you're saying there. Are you saying that they weren't interested in coming, accepting your invitation? Is that what you're saying? Yeah, Tim, I struggled a little bit in terms of the theme of the giveaway, but I think it's interesting. Hi, Pipes and Pictures. Josh, you know, we all have that challenge when we first start smoking a pipe. I don't think there's a single person in the world who managed to keep their pipe lit on their first inaugural pipe smoke. And the best thing I can recommend is that you check out people's channels. There's a guy on YouTube called Mutton Chop Piper. Probably the most successful instructional YTPCer. I would urge you to go and have a look at his channel and find the video instructing you how to smoke a pipe. But if you just do how to smoke a pipe on YouTube, just search it, you'll get plenty of help with that. Oh right, I see what you're saying, Joe. Hi, Captain Cavendish. Well, you should be able to get good information from him, Josh. The best thing I can tell you is that it just takes practice. That's the bottom line. We've all been there. I'm not going to assume to be able to give you all the answers, but just certainly if you're smoking an aromatic blend, just make sure it's fully dried. Let it air out for half an hour or something, depending on how moist it is. And start off by packing the bowl quite lightly. And don't expect to get it perfect. It takes time. I would say that it took me probably the best part of 6 months to really understand what I'm doing and when I did it wrong and when to redo it. It just takes time. It's like everything, you've got to go through the journey of making those mistakes in order to know and to kind of fine-tune how it works for you. And you'll have people telling you lots of different ways of doing things, the different packing methods, and the bottom line is, you know, you've got to just find it. Yes, of course, look up those methods and take advice from videos, but ultimately you'll find your way. Just expect it to take some time, that's all. Well, tamper wise, there's nothing, you don't need anything fancy about any kind of tampers. Hi Eric. In terms of a tamper, you just need anything which has got a small flat surface on the end of it. You can use the head of a nail, you can use the end of a pencil, you can use your thumb. It really doesn't matter, you don't need anything fancy. The fancy stuff will happen anyway. If you really get the bug of pipe smoking, before you know it, you'll have a drawer full of Tobacco paraphernalia, and once you get the bug, you'll be unstoppable, I'm sure. A common mistake that people make when they first start off with tamping is to really press down quite hard, and that's really not necessary. You literally just want to tap the top really softly, just to kind of help compress the ash at the top a little bit, to protect the ember, and you're essentially creating a little crust which insulates the ember, if you like. Pipes and spirits in the house. I can't say I'm disappointed, Art, that you've gone back to your original name. I think it was you, and happy that you've gone back. Hey Ken, how you doing? Briar Brother Brian, BBB. What's everybody smoking this evening? Currently I'm smoking some Nightcap in my Boswell. CP is in the house, Curmudgeon Piper. Quiet nights, good tobacco. Snuff, good one. I do like a bit of snuff, usually on the weekends. This is the one that I use most of the time. Really good snuff, very, very good. Luxury Navy Snake. Jim, how you doing? Well, obviously I don't celebrate Christmas per se. We do enjoy the holiday season, but we don't celebrate the religious aspect of it, obviously. But we, as I say, we do enjoy it. We had a really nice family meal today. Sat around the table, had a nice roast beef. A very satisfying meal. Enjoyed a cigar afterwards. A Bolivar, very nice. Perfect for after a nice heavy meal. Oh, you saw the picture, nice one, Ben. Yeah, that was made by myself this afternoon. That gravy was something else. That gravy was so thick. I made that, if you're interested. Any of you foodies out there. I'm trying to remember what I put in there. There was plum tomatoes, peeled plum tomatoes, whole plum tomatoes, tomatoes, a couple of whole cloves of garlic, cut in half. Yeah, I should really... Fanny Craddock was her name, a very early English cookery program, one of the first, I think, cookery programs on TV. Fanny Craddock, I think her name was. Old black and white programs, probably in the 50s or the 60s. And she was probably the mother of all cookery programs. 2 or 3 sprigs of fresh rosemary, some red onions, and some seasoning. Put the piece of beef in there with it. It's in just a regular silver foil container. Put it in the oven on high initially, and then turned it down and covered it with foil. Then when I took it out, I added boiling water to it because it had all the goodness, all the veg had kind of cooked through and dried out and had caramelized at the bottom of the container. Added about half a pint of water, stirred it thoroughly, and then put all of that stuff, all that goodness into a sieve, and that was quite a thick, hefty sort of clump of vegetable. It was like mulch. And then just kept on with a fork pushing it through the sieve. Man, that was some flavorful, so aromatic, sort of that rosemary especially coming through. It just completely made that meat. It just unbelievable. It's not just pipes and tobacco that I'm passionate about. Well, I've packed this bowl too tightly. I have, I have. Finished this up this afternoon, and I've even put my calling card there on the base. London Calling 18. Somebody suggested that I do that, and I went ahead and did it. I've got a set of metal stamps. I've had them for years, never done anything with them, and so it was quite cool to use them. I have one Northern Briars, the one on the far left. That's a Northern Briars Quebec shape. And the only reason why that one is there is because it's got quite a hefty shank. So I was able to convert it to 9mm, as I only smoke 9mm pipes nowadays. I've got one other Northern Briars 9mm, which is a Zulu, and the rest I've all sold. I've probably sold about 6 of them, 5 or 6 of them in the last year or so. Hey, happy smoking. In terms of stain, I bought a set of stains from I think it's Axminster. It's a British tool company, and they sell a set. In fact, I think I've got them in here. It's a company called Chestnut. No, I did the stamping afterwards. All it is, it's really nothing complicated at all. All it is you get a set of these stamps, either numbers or letters, and so that's a number 7, and you just put that on the base and give it a little gentle tap with a hammer, and that's it. These ones were trying to remember why I bought them. I remember as a kid the police used to come around and use that to put like a security code on your bike, because there used to be a lot of bike theft around when we were kids. There still is, I suppose. So they used to put your postcode and the number of your house, and they used to stamp it on in an obscure part of the bike, so it's not readily visible. But if they had to identify it, they could. So they used to use a kit like that, and it's very possible that I just picked it up when I saw it. It would kind of reminisced about that, and I thought it might be useful. I've had them sitting in my drawer for years. I'm trying to remember the last time I actually used it. Actually, I did use it recently. Now that I think about it. Hey Tree, this was the Amarelli 70th anniversary pipe for the Israeli pipe group, and you guys will remember the whole debacle about this one. This was the 3rd version of that pipe that I got, and in the end it wasn't stamped, so I stamped it myself. There you can see the 21 there, 21 out of 70. Still haven't smoked this pipe. I was a bit cheesed off with the whole thing, and I kind of it just turned me off. The first one smoked so well, and I'd kind of, even though it was cracked, I kind of regret sending it now, returning it back. Well, I don't regret it because it was cracked, but still, it did smoke well. Hopefully this one will smoke well as well when I do eventually fire it up. So today we didn't really do much, bit of a lazy day. Went to visit the mother-in-law with the family, which was our good deed for the day. I finished processing a wedding, which was from back in August. I'm really behind with my processing work at the moment. Too many YouTube videos. So I finished the wedding from back in August, and we had our supper, watched a bit of Home Alone with the kids, which is always good fun. Get off my property. Keep the change, you filthy animal. That's a regular saying in our house these days. And yeah, that's about it. We went to Oxford Street yesterday, which was very nice, as you saw if you watched the video. Absolutely heaving, the place. When we first drove up, it looked really quite empty, but when we parked and we managed to... Thanks, BBB. Have a good one. Happy New Year. When we actually got out of the car and walked around, it was unbelievable. Can you guys hear me? Oh right, just wondering what art meant there. I thought it all went quiet and Art was saying he thought I'd gone to bed. Good evening, Uncle Frank. How you doing? Ooh, I know what I want to ask you guys. I'm kind of struggling with a shape for this new piece of briar. I showed that in my giveaway video. One of the things that I always struggle with the pipes is this area around the stem. I struggled with it on this one, and hence I left this kind of really uncomplicated, and I didn't touch this pre-shaped, pre-turned bit of the shank. Here there's no shank turned at all. So initially I was hoping to kind of slope down and almost make more like a bridge style pipe. But I'm not sure how I'm going to do what I'm going to do around this area here, because the plateau finishes there. I'm kind of thinking of just from just above the stem to sort of take it up there, so I'll have part smooth and part plateau. But the angle just doesn't quite work. I'm not a carver, I'm just playing around, and I've been carving, just finished my fourth one, which is this one here, which is a panel billiard. But I'm not a carver as such, just messing around really. But we've got the stamp just in case I become world famous. A horn tulip. Not with you there, Ben. Are you saying I should just do something like that? The thing is, there isn't really, I haven't got that, see, the hole is there, so it's like that. So in terms of, I don't know, what I was thinking was to do, it would end up being quite a hefty pipe. There's nothing I can do about that because it's 9mm, it's got quite a hefty stem, and I really don't want to start messing around with the stem. So I was thinking of doing some kind of a Dublin style shape with maybe a little bit of a lip at the top to make it interesting. So just like a U over there, like a U shape, and obviously take some of this off, but to do that kind of U shape and to make it quite sort of a long, and just to leave this plateau, just to leave it, and so then over here it would also be that U shape. I'm just not sure how this bit would work. I'm not sure. See, my problem is that because of my lack of knowledge, I find it hard to visualize how things would look and how I would arrive at that shape. And that's why, you know, this one ended up being quite an unusual shape because of that. I mean, I'm happy with it, but it's not something that I necessarily visualized. I did want to have this kind of bit sticking out, but the idea was to really get down there, and I couldn't do that. I mean, what I'd really like to do is to make that kind of thing, but I can't do the shank. That's my problem. Yeah, I mean, I would freehand the junction, but even doing that, even freehanding it, it's just not possible without a lathe. Because to freehand it, I would end up having to leave, unless I did a completely wacky shape, because to do anything which resembles a round, any kind of roundness, just would look terrible. As I say, I can't visualize what I'm going to do with this. I just can't visualize it. See, this one here, see, forget this one. This was my first one, which was an absolute disaster. But this one was a fairly reasonable attempt. But you can see I tried to shape this. And this one, if I remember correctly, was already partly shaped, the stem. But you can see the shape of it. It's not terrible, but it's kind of a bit messed up. I don't know, I'm going to have to just kind of suck it and see, really. I think that's going to be the way I'm going to have to go. I'm obviously going to sort of mark out some kind of shape. I mean, what I really want to do is something like that. That's what I'd like to do. Maybe bring it in a little bit more, make it a little bit slimmer in the middle. With quite a sort of mushroomy, spreading out quite a lot on the top, keeping the plateau, so that will be somewhere around there. That's what I'd like to do, but I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I've got no idea. I don't know how to deal with that so that it would look acceptable. That's what I'd like to do shape-wise. Big shame this. It's got a beautiful ring grain, which you can see. I hope the staining will bring that out. Look at that. Got some beautiful ring grain there. Shame I can't sandblast it. Riffler files. Hey Josh. I'm not sure what those files are. I guess this is what you're talking about, Riffler files. They are very cheap, but I'm not sure why that's going to make it any better than any other file, which you would just move around the shapes that you want. Oh, I see what you mean. You put the curve bit around the shank to make that curve. Okay, I hear you. I've got one other block, oh excuse me, got hiccups, tree, which is a similar kind of block that I had to start with on this one, which is a much smaller block. I haven't got it here with me, otherwise I'll show it to you, it's in the garage. And the same issue that I had with the shank is the reason why I ended up going for a square shank here, because I just had no way of really successfully making a round shank. And this seemed to me to be the simplest shape to go for. You know, using the flat edge of the sanding wheel to just hold it flat, perpendicular, so you end up with a flat surface, a reasonably flat surface. So anyway, I've taken, look at Boswell's, he leaves as a chunk of wood and does not shape it to the stem. But he still makes a round shank. See, that's a Boswell, although it's a new stem, but it's the same principle, but this is round. And I don't know if he's freehanded that or not. A man of his years of experience, you know, could very well do that. It would take a lot of practice for me to do that. It probably is freehanded. That probably is not done on the lathe. No, he wouldn't have been able to do that on the lathe, I don't think. But that man's got 50 years experience, has he? Yeah, absolutely, Ben. Practice, practice. I mean, really and truly, I should have. Somebody suggested it might have been art. And just get a whole load of just regular wood and just practice carving. You know, not making pipes for smoking, but just practicing shaping. Thank you, Art. I appreciate that. A good glue, probably an epoxy, because you're not going to come in contact with that, so it doesn't really matter what you use. It's on the outside of the pipe. It's obviously got to be something which is heat resistant. Hi, Peace Pipe Man. How you doing? Happy holidays to you too. I'm trying to remember if I was subscribed to your channel. I don't appear to be for some reason. Peace Pipe Man. I shall have to look into that. Thanks for joining. Davey, just up for work. So I guess you're in the UK, are you? Well, I've decided to stay off work now for the next week. So I'm home until the day after New Year's, which is very cool. I'm very happy about that. Feeling relaxed about it. Not sure what we're going to do tomorrow. Try and go out with the kids somewhere. West Scotland, what kind of work are you in to be up this early, my friend? Yeah, I've seen his bridge type ones. The thing with the bridge, which is the problem that I've got, the bridge usually goes all the way down. So what you have is the stem going into the curve, which would make life a lot easier. So I could create that curve, but the problem is it's pre-drilled, and if I create that curve, I'm going to cut into the drill. So I have to end up with some kind of flat surface here. No other choice. It's actually quite an awkward. When I went on the website in the Greek company that I bought it from, I was just quite excited by the plateau, to be able to try and make something out of a plateau top. But in reality, I mean, I just have to really develop my skill when it comes to doing curved sanding, really. That's the bottom line. That's actually really down there. It's actually a pretty hefty sized stem. That's gone too far. That's about right. That would look like quite an interesting shape there, but not sure. I'll have to see. I'll have a look at that bridge pipe and see if... let's have a quick look. Yeah, so there's the bridge, and as you can see, the stem is drilled straight into the briar. The briar goes all the way down. I haven't got that. Mine is cut off. So hence my problem with the shank end. Well, look, if you buy the kit, Blocks Davy, come what may, you know, even somebody who hasn't got experience, you can cut a pipe that'll work, no question about that. And making them look good just takes repetitious experience. It's like anything, it just needs experience. Practice, practice, practice. So I might just do that. I'd like to actually find a similar kind of wood that I can buy in the hardware stores, because the pine, or the regular type of wood that you buy for doing framework and things like that, it just doesn't carve the same way. It's too splintery. I think the molecular structure is very different to briar, which is extremely fine and dense. Cherry, maybe. I don't know if I can get cherry in the local shop. Same with olive wood. Yeah, could be. I'm just not sure where I can get this stuff. I have to make some inquiries. Because to buy these blocks, I bought a few blocks. They were on sale at the time, but if I was to buy them in bulk, I think they were roughly 15 euros a piece. I mean, they had a few on sale, which I got for about 10, 12 euro. But for practicing on, that's a lot of money. There's plenty of those kind of shops. I mean, they're not called, probably not called the same as they are in the US, but there are plenty. I'm not worried about staining at this stage, Josh. I'm trying to really get a readily available substitute wood to practice carving and shaping. The staining also, I'll tell you what, the staining also needs a lot of practice. I was watching a video earlier today which Tom Eltang did on his golden contrast staining. And whilst it's called a video on his golden contrast training, he's not giving away any trade secrets. So you do see some of the stages, and I suppose you have to do the guesswork on how he gets over from what he allows you to see to that stunning finish that he has on his pipes. But I think for this pipe, I'm not going to be staining it. I think I'm just going to do the black undercoat to bring out the grain, sand it, and then polish it without staining it. I mean, the staining on these are okay. It's not bad. It's not bad, but I'm not totally enamoured with the colour. It's a fairly standard looking colour, to be honest. It's not bad. a bit lighter than others. Baby steps, art, drilling, yeah, of course. Is it a whole nother story? Excuse me. So whilst I don't have to learn that yet, I'm just really focusing on what I can do without... I'm trying to see if there is something there or not. It's not something for the immediate future, but possibly later on. And I'm trying to see if there's anything there, if I have any affinity to it, without any huge outlay. So I'm kind of holding off from getting a lathe, because if I'm honest with myself, despite that there is a chance that I could end up doing this in the future, I think the most likely outcome is that I won't, and I might enjoy just making the odd hobby level pipe like I'm doing now, maybe improving that as I go along, but not in any kind of industrious way. That's the likely outcome. I'm not trying to be pessimistic or anything like that, but that's the most likely outcome. If I was to go out and buy a lathe and to buy a fret saw and to buy not a fret saw, a band saw, and all these kind of things which would make my life a lot easier, I could see them ending up sitting in my garage, not being used for years and years, and me ending up either sticking on eBay or taking it to the local dump. So I'm taking it baby steps, where I don't have to have too much outlay over what I've already got. That's where I'm at, really. And the next logical step obviously is to consider a lathe. But to be honest, when I watch Moretti Pipes videos, he doesn't use a lathe at all. Well, he must. I assume he uses it to cut his stems. I haven't seen a video of him cutting his stems, but all his pipes are freehand. And I don't know how he makes them so perfect. Well, to be honest, it's only based on the videos that I've seen, and the videos that I've seen are freehand. It could well be that he uses a lathe actually for the round ones. One of the Morettis that I got a while back, a few weeks ago, when I got the batch of pipes in, I haven't yet smoked. I'm just trying to find it. I think that one is completely round, and I think it's unlikely that was done freehand. I can't put my hands on it. Actually, this is a bit weird. I don't know where that pipe has gone. Oh, here we are. This is the Bulldog that I got from him, which I haven't smoked yet. This has got to have been done on a lathe, I would say. Well, I think that the tool that you're thinking of is the same tool that's used for cutting tenons for pipes, and I think that can be attached to a drill press. I've got to make some inquiries about that. Somebody else mentioned that on one of my videos, that they do all of that with a drill press. In actual fact, who was I watching? I think I was reading an article in the Pipes and Tobacco magazine about Abe Herbo, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, Herbo. I've actually been in touch with him in the last few days, been chatting with him about his pipes. Might get him to make me one, but in any event, I think he started, I think it was him, he started with a drill press, and he made himself a load of attachments to go onto that drill press, and he did everything with the drill press. Sometimes he had to lie on its side for it to work, to do what he wanted it to do, but the drill press could well be the next purchase. Although actually I've been looking at it recently more is sanding wheels, proper sanding wheels. One of these combination ones, the belt sander and sanding wheel. That's probably more important than a drill press. For me, where I am at the moment, using kit blocks. What are you talking about, this Moretti? Yeah, it is a nice pipe. Excuse me. Probably going to be doing putting a load of pipe stuff on eBay soon. And I've decided, I'm not 100% sure, but I think I've decided to sell that Mastro de Paja that I bought, Mastro de Paya that I bought at the Pipe Club last month. It's brand new, unsmoked. You guys have seen this one. Very nice pipe, actually. I don't know, I haven't decided yet, but I might sell it before I smoke it. Once I've smoked it, I'll keep it probably, but as long as it's not smoked, it's always on the at-risk list. Wow, it's 3:10 already, I didn't realise. Okay people, I'm not going to keep you much longer. Just wanted to say hi, wish you all well. Hope you're having a fantastic, enjoyable festive time. Make the most of it, everybody. The name of my eBay is Bosco Piper UK. There's nothing on there at the moment. Whatever I had is sold. But during the course of the holiday, I'm going to be putting up a whole stock of them. Oh, cool art. Thank you very much. I will do that. quite minor. I think I'm subscribed to him actually. I guess you could do with drum sanders. You can attach to a drill press. Yeah, you can do quite a lot with a drill press. But the sanding disc that I use attached to my regular drill works pretty well, I must say. What I've been able to achieve with the very minimal tooling that I've got is pretty good. As I say, the sanding wheel works well. The buffing wheel, funnily enough, I've got a proper buffing wheel with a proper motor with 6-inch mops, and I've also got a set of small hobby mops which go on an arbor on the end of the drill, and those seem to work better than the big mops working on the main motor. Yeah, a Dremel as well is on my list. It really is. I mean, that's certainly something which will help to get into those tight places. But as I said, you know, I'm doing my best to hold off from spending money on all of those excellent tools. You know, for the Dremel is really it can open up so many aspects of pipe making. You know, making sort of carving those tight spaces, rustication, all of those kind of things. But as I say, I want to, before I spend all that money, I want to see if I have any kind of affinity for pipe carving. I'll try to give you a heads up, Alien, when I do put this stuff on eBay. Hi Jerry, Merry Christmas to you too. Hope you're well. Smoking some nightcap in the Boswell. I suppose I should pack that up before it dries out. That's very nice, Jerry. Can't be beaten. Time with family. Nice traditions. It's all good. Alright everybody, I think we'll call it a day here. As I say, it's 3:15 in the morning. So, Tree, Smoking Grandpa Bones, Art, Pipes and Spirits, Puffing Alien, Ross, Smoking Uncle Frank, Josh, Jim, and everybody else. Artful Codger, if you're still there. Thank you very much. Davey, cheers. Enjoy the rest of your holidays. And I wish you all a wonderful new year. And enjoy your smokes. Have a good one, everybody. Thanks for joining me. Catch you on the next one.